Can you remember how telephones were before the iPhone? We had Nokias, Blackberries and many others. Some of them had a keyboard or were foldable or both, and we had them in very different forms, shapes and sizes. But then the iPhone came.
This is one device and we are calling it iPhone.
It set the standards for all other manufacturers and it became the benchmark to what all other phones were compared. And we have been stuck in this era for more than 15 years, with many progressive advancements but no big change in capabilities or functionalities, and it is getting a bit boring and repetitive. We want something new. But what if I told you that we may be closer to the next generation phone than you think? A new combination of technologies that could merge into one single device to change our way of living, in the same way that the iPhone did back then. Could we change from the smartphones to the ThinkPhones? Don't get me wrong, the evolution of the smartphone and its technology has been amazing during all these years, but no one dared to break the mold and to try something different. I understand that it is dangerous, that this type of high-risk, high-reward bets are difficult to make if you're a big company, and some of them have even tried, like using foldable screens or cosmetic changes, but these are not going to revolutionize anything. We need someone to have the audacity to change the industry once again. Now imagine that one day Elon Musk wakes up and decides he wants to challenge Tim Cook by building the iPhone competitor. If anyone has a chance, it's Elon. With Tesla, SpaceX and now Twitter and XAI, he has a real possibility to build something interesting if he wants. It would probably divide the public, being loved and hated at the same time, like the Cybertruck, which you may like it or not, but it surely stands out from the rest. But apart from who builds it and who challenges, what attributes would this phone need? Because we have already agreed that conservative changes and small improvements to the camera and processor are not good enough to call it the next generation phone. What could offer a new phone that would make it desirable and that would also force all other competitors to change? There are several things, but one that could definitely revolutionize the way we interact is an AI assistant. Okay, that's not a big surprise. AI is everywhere nowadays, but hear me out. Imagine a Siri on steroids that has the capabilities of ChatGPT and that can interact with all applications on your phone. That could send an email, that did your groceries, that learned all your preferences and that could do most of your tasks even better than you. It may take some time until we are comfortable with this, similar to the fear we had of putting our credit card data into the internet for the first time, but with some learning we all will adapt easily to this new change. There are already some assistants or copilots that help you code or send emails that are being used right now, and that they are getting better each day. I don't think any of us like this kind of task. I postpone sending emails until I have no other option. I hate making PowerPoints, so we would be more than pleased that someone else, or something else, does them for us. And it could become much more than that. It could be a friend that listens and understands you and helps you in your daily life. Maybe it's a bit early to fall in love with an AI assistant, but I'm sure it could help you do all other things you love to do, like recommend restaurants, discuss about cinema and books, or teach you any interesting topic you would like to know. Think about it. How much would you pay to have a personal teacher following you everywhere? Like a museum guide that knows everything and that knows how you like to listen. Or that remembers everything you've told him and that helps you later to think of any important detail you have missed. It may sound futuristic and even dangerous or dystopian, but if we keep our feet on the ground and we use it well, it could help us a lot. So we can easily design a new kind of phone with more computing power to run these models, and have it in the pocket all the time. There is no need to build a new device, like the Amazon Alexa or OK Google. The smartphone already is a conjunction of many devices: telephone, camera, sensors, internet and more. The natural evolution of things is to converge into a single tool, especially when we already have one that we use every day. I don't know who will do it first. Maybe Google, or OpenAI with Microsoft, or maybe Elon with the new AI model Grok. The hardware is there, and the AI models are getting to this point very fast, so it's just a matter of time until we have some of them. Okay, an AI assistant, very clever. You may have seen that coming, but what else will the future phones need? Have you ever thought about how much depends on your internet connection? We rely a lot on it and it becomes a drama when it fails. And most importantly, even though we may have different connections for the Wi-Fi and mobile, they are usually come from the same places. So if there is a big problem or a huge blackout, you could lose all your internet connections even if you have many. How could anyone easily solve this? I don't know if it would qualify as easy, but for sure it solves this issue: an internet satellite connection. You would be adding redundancy to one of the most important things we have right now. And no matter where you are or in what conditions, you should be able to have a good connection as long as you have a clear view of the sky. In this aspect, SpaceX has a clear advantage over the rest, and more advantage that they will have once they start sending the bigger Starlink V2 satellites, but they are not the only ones. there are other actors in this race. Apple is testing some kind of internet connection, and when Amazon starts deploying the Kuiper satellite constellation, they could offer similar things. It's not a game changer on its own, but considering it with the next point I want to mention, it starts making more sense. In the last years, and after some stories like the ones Snowden released, some people are starting to be worried about the way that the different agencies have access to our information. Currently, Google and Apple are the big players in this subject. If anyone wants access to your phone, they just need to talk to these two companies. That on its own would be a good reason to start a new phone company with a different operating system. But it is not enough if you still need to go through the existing internet providers. They might not be able to see your phone, but they could see what you search and what you send. So it makes sense to try to have not only a different software and hardware that is not controlled by a handful of companies, but also different connection and that it is independent from the other ones. Okay, this last point is a bit weak, because adding just one company does not solve any issue. But competition is the only way we control these type of things, and the best solution is that we, the users, have different options where to choose from, and the more options we have, the better for us. So building a phone with a new operating system, new hardware, a new type of connection would be a good start if you want to control a bit who has control over us, and to have some privacy that it is very hard to get back once you lose it. And finally, I wouldn't mind that the next phone recovers some of the old phone resistance. Maybe we don't need another Nokia 3310, but I don't think asking for something that could survive more than a couple of hits would be too much. So that's it. We have all the requirements for the next generation phone. New connectivity through satellite, joined with privacy, with a lot of AI tools that can do your job for you, integrated in a single device that we use for everything, and if it's not much to ask, that could survive for a long time without having to change it for the new model every couple of years. It doesn't sound that difficult, right? I guess it is, otherwise we would already have it. But who could be able to make this happen? Most phone manufacturers don't try to innovate that much. Instead, they try to copy what they know it works. Any other technology manufacturer like Amazon most likely has the same issue and will wait until someone else does the next risky move. They would rather to not be the last than being the first, especially after what happened to Nokia and many others. But with this conservative approach, one does not become the most valued company in the world. And seeing how Apple does not want to risk in that front, they are risking it in other fronts. There is only a handful of people left that should be able to do this, and the first on this list is obviously Elon Musk. He would be very well positioned to do something like this if he wanted. Many Tesla fans have been teasing about some kind of Tesla phone over the past years, and it makes a lot of sense. They already have most of the supply chain and they already build similar devices for their cars, so it shouldn't be that difficult to produce a phone. They have even their own operating system and they could easily integrate it with the cars and the house tools they have. Elon also has the internet satellite market in his pocket, and with the new AI tools being developed at Twitter and XAI, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for it. What better way to avoid the 30% Apple Store tax than building your own phones? Elon has the money, the knowledge, and the people to do it, and he has never shown signs of being tired of doing things. He already was the richest person on earth when he bought Twitter, so I don't think this will be much more on his plate. And I'm sure that there are people now asking him to do this, and I have no doubts that someday he will make it happen. But it is not a close competition. Anyone can participate, and although some actors seem better positioned to lead the change to the next step in this technology, there is room for much more and even more room that we cannot even foresee. What would you put on the next generation phones? Take care and learn more.